Hello everyone, Ryan here. Revelation by Russell Brand. Recently listened to this audiobook, Audible original, and it's terrible. No, not really. Well, if you're not familiar with Russell Brand's brand of humor, if you're not familiar with his kind of humor, you might not like this particular audiobook. But if you are familiar with his style and his repertoire, so to speak, then you might like this, which, I mean, I will say I enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed listening to it. But then again, I pretty much like listening to anyone speak with a British accent. So, but so anyways, in this, he talks about a multitude of things. And it's actually, I mean, for me, I found it to be pretty poetic. Because, I mean, like, say, like, in one part, he'll be talking about his recovery, and because, I mean, he, I don't know how many times he's been in rehab, but in this audiobook, he talks a little bit about his experiences with rehab and recovery and all that, and but then he'll go from that, and then he'll start talking about a much more broader perspective, such as like how his, like, say, like how his friends or family members viewed his recovery. Also, how they dealt with it, how they happen to still be dealing with it. But then, like I said, like, the poetic part comes in because then he transitions into talking about how other people deal with recovery, how, I guess, pretty much the recovery process can be completely different for each individual, which makes sense. But then, you know, he'll go off and, you know, like, there's another part where he mentions at this one meeting he attended, AA meeting he attended, and some people, it was some kind of, like, I don't know, banquet thing or ceremony thing, and some of the other people who attended the meeting, they brought their family members, and so he started thinking about how those family members happen to be dealing with recovery and the process of recovery, and then he'll start talking about, you know, like, say, someone's favorite food or favorite brand of cigarette, and then start talking about, you know, the corporation that produces, that manufactures, produces, you know, these cigarettes or this favorite food or snack food, and then he starts talking about, again, an even more broader perspective on, you know, the fact that as human beings we tend to naturally have vices and other addictions, and vices that turn into addictions that turn into vices, and so on and so forth, like a never-ending cycle of suffering. So, and then speaking of the cycle of suffering, then he goes on to briefly talk about things like Buddhism and Hinduism and other spiritually inclined things. Which all of it is stuff that I already happened to be interested in to begin with. So I guess for me, it was kind of like certain parts were easy for me to follow along with, but then other parts, not so much. But ultimately, like I said, it came off as very poetic to me. For me, I just considered it to be like one long, like pretty much like an epic poem of some kind, or poetic thing of some kind. And that's how it came off to me, and ultimately the moral message that I took away from it was pretty much, just the fact that life is short, reality is complex, it will always be complex, and so long as, human beings are alive on this planet, there will always be something, hindering us as a species. And but that, of course, there is some hope in sight, and of course it's a matter of each individual's own what's the word? In short, it's up to each individual, essentially. Each and every one of us, whether or not we choose to participate in the advancement, I guess you could say, I don't know, for lack of a better word, participate in, this whole human experiment that's going on this planet, and will likely continue going on for who knows how long. So yeah, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but to me it makes sense. So overall I give this audiobook 4 out of 5 stars. 4 out of 5. So that'll do it for this review. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. As always, till next time, don't forget, keep it real. Keep on rocking, and peace.